I work hard to provide my daughter. It turned out she was starving while her mother spent the money on luxury bags, spa trips, and for fun. But then she demanded money for. A few years ago, I divorced my wife, Amanda. It was messy. She got primary custody of our daughter, Ellie. I agreed to pay generous child support way above the court minimum. I didn't even fight it. I loved my kid more than anything, and Amanda swore up and down that she needed the extra money to give Ellie the best life possible. I believed her. Biggest mistake of my life. Fast forward, I work a lot, long hours, 2 jobs at one point, just to make sure Ellie was taken care of. Amanda sent me pictures, videos, made everything look good from the outside. Cute dresses, dance classes, birthday parties. I thought, okay, it sucks I'm not there full time, but at least she's happy. Until last Saturday, I got a call from Ellie's elementary school. The nurse actually. She said Ellie fainted during recess. They thought it was dehydration. Then they found out she hadn't had breakfast or dinner the night before, not even a snack packed for school. I almost crashed my car driving over there. When I got to the school, Ellie looked like a skeleton wrapped in clothes too big for her. I'm not exaggerating. She clung to me so tight I thought she'd break. The principal pulled me aside and told me this wasn't a one-time thing. They'd been documenting signs of neglect for months. They tried to call Amanda multiple times but kept getting too busy or out-of-town responses. I lost it right there in the principal's office. I demanded they call CPS immediately. Here's where it got even worse. When CPS went to Amanda's apartment, guess what they found? Designer handbag, high-end makeup, heels and jewelry from brands I can't even pronounce, all stuffed in the bedroom. Meanwhile, the fridge was basically empty. A couple ketchup packets, expired milk, and half a box of crackers. Amanda was living like a TikTok influencer, and my daughter was starving. When CPS asked Amanda about the situation, her response, "Kids are resilient." I'm not joking, she said that. Like Ellie could just tough it out without food and proper care. They immediately removed Ellie from her custody and placed her with me temporarily. I'm pushing for full custody permanently now, and my lawyer says it's basically a slam dunk at this point, but the hits kept coming. Turns out Amanda was lying about needing extra money for bills and rent. She moved into a fancier apartment after the divorce, one of those flashy places downtown with a pool and a gym, and paid for it with my child support every single month. She didn't just blow my money, she weaponized my love for my daughter to upgrade her lifestyle. And here's the kicker. Amanda's out-of-town excuses? She was flying to Miami and Vegas on weekends with friends, taking spa days, posting vacation photos on private accounts, the ones she thought I couldn't see. But a friend of a friend stumbled on one of her posts and screenshotted it for me. And when I confronted her about it yesterday, she had the nerve to tell me I deserve a break. Being a mom is stressful. Are you kidding me? You didn't even parent. You starved your child while you shopped your way into debt. I'm trying not to spiral here, but it feels like my entire world was fake for the past 2 years. I thought I was doing right by my kid. I thought Amanda was just struggling, trying to adjust to single parenting. Instead, she was treating my daughter like an afterthought while living her best main character life. I can't even describe the guilt I feel. I should have known. I should have checked harder. But Amanda was a master liar. Sweet on the phone, busy mom, on texts, social media full of pictures of Ellie smiling at birthday parties and school plays. Meanwhile, my kid was surviving on school lunches and cups of tap water at home. I'm shaking writing this. I've already filed for an emergency custody hearing. My lawyer is helping me go after her for financial fraud too, since she misused child support funds. Apparently, that's a felony in my state if it can be proven, and it can. And honestly, I don't even feel bad anymore. She deserves everything that's coming to her. I just want my daughter to be safe. After CPS got involved, everything moved fast. Amanda tried to play the concerned mother act when we showed up for the emergency custody hearing. She wore a plain sweater, no makeup, hair in a messy bun, like she just ran straight out of a struggling single mom movie. She even brought tissues and dabbed at her eyes like she was auditioning for a sad role. Meanwhile, my daughter was sitting with me looking like a ghost in an oversized dress. The judge wasn't buying it. Still, Amanda's lawyer tried the angle of temporary hardship, claimed Amanda had been overwhelmed and slipped up a little, but that it wasn't neglect, it was depression. They tried to say it was all a mental health issue and she needed therapy, not punishment. I thought I was gonna bite through my tongue trying to stay quiet. My lawyer stood up with a giant binder full of evidence. School records, nurse reports, CPS reports, photos of Amanda's apartment, the designer closet next to an empty fridge, screenshots of her trips to Miami and Vegas, even PayPal receipts showing she paid for spa packages and VIP club pass. Then the real bomb dropped. The school counselor had reported that Ellie mentioned mommy eats at restaurants, but I eat crackers at home. That single sentence in the report had the whole courtroom dead silent. Amanda tried to fake cry harder after that. I say fake because the tears never came, just a lot of sniffling and sad faces at the judge. When it was Amanda's turn to talk, she launched into this wild speech about how money management isn't her strength, and she got caught up trying to impress other moms and wanted to show Ellie that life could be beautiful after divorce. I swear to you, if there was an Olympic event for missing the point, Amanda would have gotten the gold. The judge didn't even let her finish. He cut her off mid-sentence and said, "This isn't about you. It's about the child you were legally and morally obligated to care for. Temporary full custody awarded to me immediately. Supervised visits only until further notice." Amanda looked like she was going to pass out. You'd think that'd be the end, right? Wrong. Because a woman, one I'd never seen before, stood up from the benches in the back and asked to approach the judge. Turns out, she was Amanda's former roommate. From before Amanda moved into her fancy apartment, she had seen everything, and she had receipts. This woman, Sarah, said Amanda bragged about getting easy money from me, how she figured she could cry about Ellie in court and milk me for a decade without having to work. Sarah even brought screenshots of old texts Amanda had sent her, laughing about dumb baby daddy footing the bill for her life. When the judge read those, Amanda's face went completely blank, like she just realized she'd been playing a game with loaded dice and finally rolled a zero. Sarah also testified that Amanda left Ellie home alone sometimes to go shopping or meet friends. That one hit me like a hammer to the chest. I sat there gripping the armrest so tight my hand went numb. Sarah ended her testimony by saying, "I didn't come forward for him. I came forward for the kid. She didn't deserve any of this." And I swear I almost cried right there. A stranger cared more about my daughter than her own mother did. Amanda's lawyer looked like he wanted to sink through the floor. He mumbled something about needing time to reassess. The judge scheduled a full custody trial, but privately told my lawyer afterward that it was already a near certainty I'd win full parental rights. He just needed to make it official. Amanda stormed out of the courtroom without even looking at Ellie. Ellie just hugged me around the waist and whispered, "Can we get ice cream now?" I nodded and promised her we could get anything she wanted. But while we were walking out of the courthouse, my lawyer got a call from CPS, and what they said made me stop cold in my tracks. Apparently, there were bank records showing that Amanda had been sending child support money to a guy she was secretly dating for the last year and a half. It wasn't just about her treating herself. She had been literally funneling my daughter's food money to support some new dude. He's a 26-year-old part-time DJ who doesn't even have a real job. I stood there on the courthouse steps, feeling like I was about to black out. This wasn't just neglect anymore. Amanda didn't care about being a mom. She saw Ellie as a cash cow to fund her lifestyle and her boy toy's lazy dreams. That same night, I got a DM request on Instagram from a random account. No profile pic, just a name, Tyler. The message, "Hey man, can we talk?" It's about Amanda. I didn't know she had a kid. Please don't come after me. I stared at it for a good minute. This was the guy. Amanda's other priority. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet him. Public place, daytime, witnesses around. I wasn't trying to end up on the evening news. We met at a Starbucks. I spotted him immediately, skinny jeans, backwards hat, a beat-up MacBook under his arm. He looked nervous, bouncing his knee like he was about to bolt at any second. First thing out of his mouth, "Dude, I didn't know she had a daughter." I swear, I didn't say anything. I just stared at him. So Tyler kept talking fast, like he thought if he said it all quickly enough, he wouldn't get punched. Turns out Amanda told him she was a free spirit, no attachments, no baggage. She played herself off as some young entrepreneur grinding her way to the top. Told him she was working 2 jobs to build a business empire, that's why she never had money. Meanwhile, she was giving him the money I sent to feed my daughter. It gets worse. Tyler showed me his Venmo history. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month, labeled with things like rent help, studio equipment, emergency. All coming from Amanda. All traced back to my child support payment. And here's the cherry on top. Amanda told Tyler I was her abusive ex who refused to pay child support. She painted herself as some broke survivor struggling against the odds while living in a high-rise apartment and shopping like a Kardashian. I felt sick, like physically sick, sitting there in that Starbucks. Tyler must have seen the look on my face because he immediately blurted, "Man, I'm sorry. I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have touched a penny." He offered to send me everything. Screenshots, bank transfers, text convos, even some photos Amanda sent him of her empty wallet crying about how I cut her off. I told him to forward it all to my lawyer. That night, my lawyer filed a motion to not only push for full custody, but also to start proceedings for fraud and misuse of child support funds. Amanda had no idea what was coming for her, but karma wasn't done yet. 2 days later, while I was picking up Ellie from school, I noticed a fancy black SUV parked across the street. Tinted windows, engine running. At first, I thought maybe it was just some rich parent, but when we crossed the street, the window rolled down and Amanda was sitting there, sunglasses on, fake smiling. She called out, "Come here, baby. Mommy got you a surprise." surprised. Ellie froze. She didn't move toward the car. She just clutched my hand tighter and looked up at me with wide, scared eyes. I knelt down and asked her softly if she wanted to go see what her mom had. Ellie shook her head hard. I turned to Amanda and said, loud enough for people nearby to hear, "You need to leave now." Amanda's face twisted. She ripped off her sunglasses and started yelling across the street. "This is parental alienation. You're turning her against me. You're poisoning my daughter's mind." By now other parents were staring. A teacher came running over. Someone pulled out a phone. Amanda must have realized she was making it worse because she peeled out, tires screeching like she was in a bad action movie. That night, I found out she filed a motion against me for emotional abuse and tried to get emergency visitation rights. Her claim? That I was withholding Ellie from her and brainwashing her against her own mother. You ever get so mad you laugh? That was me reading her paperwork. She was grasping at straws, flailing, desperate to save the little scraps of control she had left. But karma had one last card to play, and it came from the most unexpected place. The leasing office at Amanda's fancy apartment complex contacted CPS. Turns out she's 5 months behind on rent. She got an eviction notice taped to her door last week. Security footage even caught her trying to sneak out in the middle of the night with bags of clothes and cosmetics. Amanda was officially homeless. All that designer junk, all the handbags, the cosmetics, the heels, pawned off. She had nothing left, not even her fake Mom of the Year image. After Amanda got evicted, I figured she'd finally back off. Wrong. She got worse. She must have realized she had no real way to win in court. So instead, she tried something way more disgusting: public sympathy. First, she created a GoFundMe. The title? Single Mom Unfairly Ripped from Her Child Needs Help. I wish I was making this up. She wrote this sob story about how she was wrongfully accused, how a controlling ex-husband used the courts to steal her daughter, how she was living out of her car and just needed a little help to reunite her family. She even posted an old photo of Ellie and her together at a petting zoo, one from like 2 years ago when things actually looked normal from the outside. And people? They ate it up. Within 2 days, Amanda raised over $7,500. Comments poured in. "You're so brave. Stay strong, mama. Never give up on your baby girl." I could feel my stomach twisting reading it. But here's where Amanda made her biggest mistake. She didn't realize my lawyer and CPS were watching everything. Turns out, once you have an open CPS case, every public action gets scrutinized. They flagged her GoFundMe immediately, especially when she used some of the donations to post selfies, drinking Starbucks, lounging at a salon, even buying new shoes, instead of finding housing or buying things for Ellie. She wasn't even subtle about it. Meanwhile, I kept things quiet. I stayed off social media. I didn't badmouth Amanda publicly. Every instinct in me wanted to blow her lies wide open, but my lawyer kept telling me, let her dig her own grave. And she did. The final straw came last week. Amanda showed up unannounced at Ellie's school again. This time, not in a car. She came walking up the sidewalk, pulling a suitcase, wearing flip-flops and sweatpants, looking like she hadn't slept in a week. The front desk buzzed me immediately. When I got there, Amanda was already trying to check Ellie out of school, claiming emergency family business. When the office staff asked for documentation, Amanda just kept saying, "I'm her mother, that's enough." It wasn't. They stalled her until I arrived, and when Amanda saw me walking in, she lost it. Right there in the school lobby, she started screaming, "You're poisoning her against me. You're a monster. Give me back my daughter, you pathetic excuse for a man." Kids in the hallway stopped. Teachers stepped into doorways. Phones came out recording. The principal rushed over and told Amanda to leave or the police would be called. Amanda tried to push past me toward Ellie's classroom. That's when I blocked her, physically stood between her and the hallway and calmly said, "You need to leave before you make this worse for yourself." Amanda just stood there, breathing hard, fists clenched, face beet red. For a second, I honestly thought she was going to swing at me, but she didn't. She dropped her suitcase right there in the middle of the office, turned around, and stormed out, screaming curses all the way down the sidewalk. I stayed behind and signed an official no-contact order with the school. Amanda wasn't allowed within 100 feet of Ellie's school grounds anymore. Later that night, the police called me. Amanda had been picked up for trespassing at another school. She had gone to the wrong elementary school first before finding Ellie's. And when they arrested her, guess what she was carrying? 2 bottles of cheap vodka and a barely filled backpack stuffed with cosmetic. No clothes, no food, no toys for Ellie, just makeup and booze. That's who she prioritized, not her daughter. Her own image, her own addiction to attention. That's when it really hit me. Amanda didn't lose Ellie because of me. She lost her because she never chose her. Not once. And in 3 days, we have the final custody trial. After everything Amanda pulled, the neglect, the financial fraud, the trespassing, the public breakdown, there's no way she walks away with anything but supervised visits. If that, earlier today, my phone rang. Unknown number. Normally, I wouldn't have answered, but something told me to pick up. It was Amanda's mother, a woman I hadn't spoken to in over a year, not since the divorce. Her voice was tight, serious, no fake sweetness, no small talk. She said, "I think you deserve to know the truth before court." I froze. Then she dropped it. Turns out, Amanda had lost custody of another child years ago, before she ever met me, before Ellie was even born. She had a son when she was just 19 and lost him to CPS because of neglect and abandonment. She never told me, not once. Amanda's mom said she tried to warn her, told her to get help, to grow up, up to be a real parent, but Amanda ran. She moved cities, changed her last name, and basically erased that part of her life. She built this new mommy persona from scratch. And when she got pregnant with Ellie, she promised her parents she'd be different. Promised she wouldn't screw up again. But history repeats when people don't change. Her mom was crying by the end of the call. Not for Amanda, for Ellie. She said, word for word, "I love my daughter, but she's broken. She doesn't know how to love anyone but herself. I'm sorry we didn't say something sooner. I'm sorry you had to find out like this." I sat there after hanging up just numb. How do you even process that? All this time, I thought Amanda's selfishness was a spiral, something new after the divorce. But no, it was who she always was. She never changed. She just hit it better. And now it was all crashing down. I called my lawyer immediately. She was stunned. The juvenile court documents were sealed because of Amanda's age at the time, but Amanda's mother agreed to testify. She agreed to submit a sworn affidavit to the judge about Amanda's past custody loss, the reasons for it, and the pattern of behavior she had witnessed for over a decade. That right there? That's the kill shot. Tomorrow in court, Amanda's house of lies is going to collapse publicly, legally, permanently. And the best part? Amanda has no idea it's coming. She still thinks she's walking into that courtroom with a chance, that she can explain everything away, cry a little, blame me, blame depression, blame anyone but herself. She has no clue that her own mother just loaded the final bullet. Tomorrow is Judgment Day. Ellie deserves better. She deserves a chance at a real life. And after everything Amanda did, after every dollar she stole, every meal she denied, every lie she told, she's finally going to lose. The courtroom was packed. Amanda strutted in like she still had a shot, wearing a conservative blouse, hair in a tight bun, minimal makeup, trying to play the poor misunderstood mom one last time. She even smiled at the judge. Meanwhile, I sat there holding a thick folder in my lap, evidence stacked high. Behind me, Amanda's own mother sat, quiet, staring daggers into the back of her daughter's head. The judge opened by reviewing the case file. Child support misuse, child neglect, trespassing at a school, violation of no-contact orders, unstable housing. Amanda's lawyer tried to stall, asked for a continuance, claimed Amanda was working on finding stable employment and housing. The judge didn't even flinch. He said, "This child deserves stability today, not someday." Then my lawyer stood up and dropped the bomb. She submitted Amanda's sealed juvenile court history verified by Amanda's mother's sworn statement. When the judge realized Amanda had lost custody of another child years before and never disclosed it, his entire demeanor changed. It wasn't anger. It was something worse. Disgust. He leaned forward and said, flat, "Ms. Amanda's last name, you have demonstrated a long-term, dangerous pattern of neglect, irresponsibility, and dishonesty. This court can no longer place any trust in your ability to safely parent this child." Amanda's face went slack. You could see the moment she realized it was over. Her mouth opened and closed like she wanted to argue, but nothing came out. She looked at her lawyer. Her lawyer just shook his head and sank lower into his seat. The judge ruled right there. Full sole custody to me. No visitation rights for Amanda at this time. All past visitation orders revoked. Amanda ordered to pay child support going forward, but at a level determined by her actual income, not lies. Any future contact with Ellie must be court-approved and supervised by a licensed family counselor at Amanda's expense. If Amanda failed to comply, automatic restraining order, automatic felony charges for interference. It was brutal. It was total. And it was public. Amanda broke right there in front of everyone. She started sobbing, not cute little tears, full body, loud, animal sound sobbing, slumped over the table, snot and mascara running down her face. And no one moved to comfort her, not even her own mother. The bailiff had to escort her out of the courtroom after she refused to leave. As she stumbled past me, she locked eyes with me and shrieked, "You ruined my life." I didn't say a word. I just looked at her because she didn't need me to ruin her life. She did that all by herself.